And April is Financial Literacy Month, and it's also when your taxes are due. So why not take the time to make sure your finances are in order?
Joining us live this morning to share some money-saving tactics, Trae Bodge, smart shopping expert at TrueTrade.com. Trae, good to see you this morning.
Good morning.
Okay, Trae, let's get into this because Financial Literacy Month, all about smart money decisions, which sometimes we struggle with. So we've been living in this pandemic mode, right? We know that. Money's been tight for a lot of people. Inflation's kind of going up. So how do, I guess, we avoid going overboard coming out of all of this when you typically would want to spend more money?
Right. So this is such an important question, especially this month in Financial Literacy Month. We are coming out of our caves. We want to do stuff and go places and buy things. But as you said, inflation is so high. So I'm sorry to be a wet blanket. I would recommend that everyone pull it back a little bit. Treat yourselves a tiny bit, but don't go crazy. So don't take that huge trip to Iceland you've had your eye on. Airfares are through the roof. Don't buy that designer bag right now because the prices are really high there too. So treat yourself a little bit, but be very mindful, compare prices, be smart, and go overboard in a couple of months when inflation settles down a little bit, hopefully.
Yeah. You also say the key to financial literacy is avoiding bad money habits. What do you mean by that?
Yes.
Can you give us an example?
Yeah, so the things that we just kind of close our eyes and pay every month, like our mobile service, our cable, those can be real money traps. So an example of this is my mobile service. I knew that I was overpaying. I had a plan with one of the big guys.
Yeah.
Mint Mobile came to me to do some work together, and I was like, well, I got to test this thing and see how it works. They have a free trial that you can do on Amazon. I saw no discernible difference between them and Verizon, and I flipped my whole family over to mobile, and now my bill is $100 less a month.
Wow.
So what I'm saying to everybody is be willing to take a chance and try something else, because $100 a month is a vacation, right?
Yeah.
So that is a big savings. I did the same thing with my cable. I went all streaming, saving myself $50 a month. So these are changes that you can make that you can save you substantially.
So hold on a second. Let me tack on to that cable thing for a second, because I think a lot of people I've heard want to make that switch, Trae, and you did it. So I guess, how do you get your mindset of, I have to cut the cord? Because some people are holding on to it for dear life, paying so much money for their bill because it's an unknown territory.
Yeah.
I know, and I hear you. It is scary to do it, but at some point you're looking at that bill and you are paying it, and it is scary. Bottom line is, you can get PIX11 online. You can get it on your Roku. You can get your other channels that you enjoy watching, and then you have your streaming channels like your Netflix, your Hulu. If you really balance it all out, you don't need that 250 plus channels that you never watch anyway. You cut that cord, use a Roku device or Amazon Fire. You can save yourself so much.
Wow.
$50 a month is a lot of money.
Yeah, so take the time to do the research, right?
Yeah, really.
All right. Well, you mentioned inflation. I mean, it's almost at 8% right now. So smart shopping, it's really critical. How can we create good shopping habits?
Right. So you guys know how much I love deal sites. Yeah, I mean, you got to get in the habit. Inflation, it's at 7.9%. That is huge. And we are also seeing such high prices in certain categories at the grocery stores, on gas. So you have to look for ways to save. The easiest way is to use a deal site. You guys know that I love them.
Yep.
CouponCabin.com, who I work with, is a favorite of mine because they have an app that you can use in store. They have a free browser extension called the Sidekick. You install it, and when you shop online, it'll let you know, hey, you can get 3.5% cash back on this purchase, or you can get $20 off if you buy here. It's a great way to save with minimal effort. So if that's the very least that you do, you will be happy that you made that change.
Yeah, I mean, Trae, you got me onto Rakuten. It's like the silliest thing, right? You just log, I do a lot of online shopping, and it's automatic. You just hit the button, and automatically, and you get a few dollars every couple of months, and that stuff adds up. That fills up your gas tank or something every now and then. But, Trae, a lot of what you're talking about is taught at such a young age, right? And if you're not financially literate at a young age, it's tough to become and create those habits as an adult. So how do you really start young?
Right. So as parents, those of us who are parents, it is our responsibility to send our kids out into the world ready so they don't make big financial decisions that they regret for many years. So a couple of the things that I like to recommend, and I know parents are rolling their eyes right now, take your kids shopping with you. Otherwise, they don't have any concept of how money works. They want to see you paying. They understand where that money's coming from. Once they get to a certain age and they're able to make decisions on their own, give them a little spending money of their own at the store. They say, you can say you have $3 to spend. They will make very wise decisions. I've been doing this with my daughter her whole life. She's 15 and she's the smartest shopper I know. It is worth it, parents. Do it.
Yeah, my husband and I started a debit account for both of our little girls who are 9 and 7. And initially, before we did that, you'd go to the store and they think that mommy and daddy are basically a money-making machine. Yeah. But then when we gave them, well, okay, you can get this, but you have to use your money.
Right.
Then everything kind of started taking a change, and they had more of an appreciation for the value of the dollar.
It is absolutely, it's a huge switch in their brains when they understand where the money comes from and what's at stake. And so they're not going to make those wild shopping decisions. They're not going to buy those really pricey sneakers if it's coming out of their debit card. So it's great that you're doing that, and I would suggest that all parents do it.
Gosh, my good. My mother, her stores when I was a kid, they were like, these were the stores, Caldor, Bradley's. They existed back then. Remember those? But those were like your Target of the early '90s. And like Burlington Coat Factory, and those are still the store. Minus Bradley's and Caldor's, which closed. Those are the stores I feel comfortable most in now because I learned from them to be savvy shoppers. Anyway. Sorry, Trae. Just telling my life story, my autobiography right here.
I love it. I love it. But you learned, right?
Yeah.
Well, Trae, we always appreciate you giving us some smart money-saving tips.
My pleasure. Thanks so much for having me.
All right.